go. We've done it. We've made it. We are here once again. It is Wednesday, January the 26th, 2022. I am James. You are you. We are here. It is currently 7 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. That's right. I'm back to doing the time checks. Why? Because this whole project, this whole endeavor, this whole, as some people might have it be known as, hobby, is all part of my fantasy that one day I'll be on the radio. So I like to do the time checks, even though they really don't add much of anything to this show other than the fact that I'm reminding you, as well as everyone who might be watching retroactively in our VOD, or as the normal people might have you know it as, video on demand. The only way that they're really getting a glimpse into what it means when I give this time check is that, well, we're starting this show late. Remember the old days when I said, I'm going to do my best to start on time and we're going to make sure the show starts at 9. It started to hit me. It doesn't really matter. Does it totally matter? Yeah, we announced 9, but we're on Montreal time. You announce a show time, people show up late because they know the show starts late. The show starts late because everyone shows up late. It's this really sick and twisted agreement that we've got. Now, you can't say sick and twisted without thinking of Mr. Andy Asaf. He will be here much later on tonight. Why is that? Well, if you were here on Monday, you saw Andy walk me through, and walk me through, I use that term extremely loosely. He tried to walk me through it, and I stumbled through it like a drunk leaving a tavern at 3 a.m. What did he try to walk me through? It was what the kids call an S-tier list. I had no idea what it was. He explained it to me. I thought I knew. Turns out I absolutely botched it. It was a blooper, blunder, and boner of epic proportions. For the first time ever in at-home history, we are doing a segment redo 48 hours later. The S-tier list subject matter, the best and the brightest in Quebecois, greasy spoon, casse-croûte, diner food, whatever you want to call it. We break it down into all of these different categories. What's going to go high? You got to stick around to find out what's going to go low. Got to stick around to find out what is going to end up in food hell. You got to stick around to find out. Now, here's the deal. Monday went extremely well. One of those shows where I log off of our production call and I'm dancing and I'm strutting and I'm sweaty, and it's all because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the show that we did. So good that it went about 25 minutes over. And not because we were running short on time, not because we were running long on time. It's because it was such a fun show. Stefan Speck was here. Raquel Belmonte was here. Here's the deal. I'm a little nervous tonight. I am so nervous because there's only one place to go when you hit the high point, and that's down. And that's what I feel like I'm going to do tonight. On Monday, a home run host job. That's what all the analysts were calling it. By analysts, of course, I mean me. What am I projecting tonight? I might strike out every time I get to the bat. It's going to be one of those off nights, not for the guests, certainly not for Andy, certainly not for a legend in at-home history who's going to be taking us alongside myself, because I need someone to carry me tonight. And when I need someone to carry me, I go to the one and only Saima Ahmed. Sent her a message earlier. I said, I desperately need your help to make sure that this show is good. Because if it's good, it's not going to be because of me. Why? Monday, I was young, fresh, vibrant, and virile. Tonight, I'm old, haggard, washed up, and flaccid. I put the call in to Saima. We're going to go on a little bit of a Montreal food tour. We're going to talk about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly, all of this, and so much more. So if you're out there and you're watching right now live on twitch.tv/@home with James, where else would you be watching? Is this show being pirated? Is this being streamed on Daily Motion? If it is, join the chat. I don't mind some creeps in here. Question you might be asking yourself is, James, what's taking you so long to get this show on the road. I know the show's we're looking at six minutes old, but we all know the real show begins when the guests get here, because they don't come for me, they come for the guest. I'm just table scraps. I'm the decor. I am what is the conduit for you, the viewer, to the guests. So let's do it. Folks, if you're at home right now and you're watching, whether you're in your bed, your couch, doesn't matter to me. I want you to stand up. I want you to begin putting your left hand into your right hand in a fast, swift motion, otherwise known as clapping. And please give our first guest the round of applause that they deserve. Folks, please welcome to the show. It's Saima Ahmed. Saima, welcome back. You're coming to us in a brand new location. Legendary viewers of this show know you from your living room. Tonight, you're coming to us from the kitchen.
Well, I decided, since we're doing like a food themed night, what better place to do the show than my kitchen? And yeah, I kind of felt like changing it up.
Yeah, and look, I like to change. You came on screen. I was a little flustered for a second, and then I thought, James, you have to be okay with change. Change scares me a little bit, but this is the type of change that I welcome in my life. Saima, have you eaten dinner yet?
Yes, I have.
Would you like to take us through what you had for dinner tonight?
Sure. It's actually pretty, I would say probably very boring, but I really enjoyed it. I had some quinoa with Brussels sprouts that I air fried, so they were crispy. And then I had some sweet potato fries on the side.
I don't think it sounds boring. I think it sounds tasty and more healthy than anything I've eaten in the past decade. Right?
It was really good. And what did I have anything for dessert? I think after that I had some frozen mangoes. And then I had a cookie with like a date inside.
Now you laughed, Saima, at my little remark about the most healthy thing I've eaten in 10 years. But let's face the facts, and we've talked about it on the show before. I went to your home for Thanksgiving, and you confessed to me prior to my arrival, as you were putting a salad together, you questioned whether or not James would eat or likes salad.
Well, also because I made a salad with kale, and I mean, I guess kale is pretty like mainstream.
So I've made kale salads myself.
See, this shocked me.
Yeah, and look, it shouldn't. I say it shouldn't, but it should. It should. Everything that I do that is out of the, let's say, hot dogs and hamburgers and pizza arena, I think shocks people. So I was going to say that it shouldn't shock you, and then I quickly corrected myself within 1 to 2 seconds. Of course it shocked you, and you're right to be shocked.
Because, well, I will say, no, because I could see you having, like, this sounds weird, like a Caesar salad. I feel like I could see you having, but like a kale salad, I just couldn't imagine.
And look, I love a nice Caesar salad. It comes from, like, let's say a pizza parlor. It comes in an aluminum tin with creamy Caesar dressing, bagel bits, or not bagel bits. God, I don't want that.
Croutons.
Bacon bits. Yeah. Croutons, a bunch of shredded mozzarella cheese. It's my dream come true, but I'll eat a kale salad. I won't make one very often, but I will eat it.
Yeah. Well, I was happy that you actually, well, it sounds weird. I feel like I'm treating you like you're a kid, but I was like, I was happy you ate it.
I deserve it because this is the character that I put out into the world. I've fought back against this for years, and only up until this exact moment that we're talking on the show right now, it's like, why don't I just submit to this and know that it's my doing? It's not, people project on me because of the way that I project myself out into the world. They think I go home and I eat submarine sandwiches and pizza all the time, and they'd be right to.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, I feel like you like surprise people with your culinary taste, and I should have not doubted should not have doubted you, because in the past times that we've like gone to eat together, you've sometimes like tried things that I was eating and you've enjoyed it. So I should not have doubted.
I don't even surprise people from a culinary standpoint. Months ago, I walked into a comedy venue. Montreal Improv, not to be confused with the other Montreal Improv that at one point was in the Plateau. I was wearing a cardigan, and you asked me if I just got back from a wedding. Again, okay, but it's my fault. It's my fault. Why? Because when people think, James, if they close their eyes, they think, okay, he's probably got black pants on, fairly form-fitting. He's wearing a pair of Vans. He's got a little black hat on. He's probably got a black hoodie on and some colorful flannel shirt. I understand, because that's my little outfit, right? It's my costume.
Well, also, I'd like to add, just bringing it back to this Thanksgiving thing. I had
Right.
told you that you're coming to my house for Thanksgiving, and I told you to dress nicely.
Yeah.
And you wore the same, like I had seen you 2 days in a row, and you were wearing practically the same clothes that you had worn the day before.
Yeah, it was
And
the
then
exact same outfit.
and you commented that I looked like I was going to what is it? The wedding of a close personal friend.
Yeah.
And Pat looked like he was going to Coachella, which was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I think you both looked fantastic. I think I looked fantastic too, but not in the conventional sense.
This is true. This is true. You did look good. It just I thought you would wear a cardigan for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. Now I want to ask you this question because I want to see what you imagine. Saima, coming in from the chat from Charlito Monti. The question is, what would James actually wear to a wedding?
Okay. I will say this because I remember this past summer, like last summer,
Oh
we had
no.
gone to
I know what's coming. I know what's
we had
coming.
gone to go eat at a restaurant in Little Italy. We were with two other people, and there was like this billboard of like a man in a suit. Or no, I think like
oh no, it was a real life man.
No, but there was also a billboard, and then yes, there was also a real life man in a suit. Yes, but before we saw the real life man, I asked you if you would ever wear a suit, and you said, yeah, if you had an occasion, if you were going to a nice wedding or you had some occasion, you would dress up and wear a suit.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I've never worn a suit to a wedding. The question is, what would I wear to a wedding? What I've worn is kind of dress pants and some type of button-down shirt, sometimes a tie, sometimes not. I did the sweater over the button-down once. This is the thing. If I were to go to a wedding, and I don't like weddings, I think they're very boring. I think going to a traditional wedding, very, very boring. I think that they're probably, the appeal is you get to drink. I do not drink, so the appeal for that, not there. Dancing, I don't like to dance either. Food, it's never turned me on that much. I think if I were to go to a wedding, again, Saima, if I were to ask anyone's help to dress me, it would undoubtedly be you. And I'm not saying that just because you're here right now.
And I also, I don't know if this is weird, but you had told me that if you had to like go to like a nice event and you had to dress up, that you would ask me. And if you had no one else to go with, you'd ask me to go with you because you know that I would probably dress up for the occasion.
Oh, yeah. And I think you would bring a touch of class to my presence. They'd be like, you know what? I guess James is here, but this person that is with him is very classy. Coming into the chat,
you look dressy. I could see dressing up very well.
I think I could, if someone dressed me, I could do it. Coming in from the chat, Naive Adventures, quote, James has worn a suit on this show. False. I have worn a lady's blazer, and from the bottom down, it was gym shorts that I'm wearing right now. So someone was trying to say a nice thing about me, and I had to say that's fake news. I didn't wear a suit on the show.
And also, just to bring it back to the story that you thought I was going to tell that I didn't, was that we saw a man wearing like a cobalt blue suit sitting on a terrace eating ice cream by himself.
Yeah.
And James kept making fun of him, and he made a personality, a persona around this man. He called him Maurizio. He kept teasing one of our friends, Sehar, pretending that he would ask her out. And then after this, James told me that if I found him a cobalt blue suit, that he would buy one and wear it.
Yeah, I will wear it if we can find a reasonably priced cobalt blue suit. Now, Saima, we're here to talk about food, and what I was thinking about is going through some of the instances where you and I have eaten together. And coincidentally enough, I think you've brought up the probably the number one meal for a variety of reasons that may not be limited to the actual food. When you and I went to Pizza Napolitana, which is in Little Italy, and we were joined by Jason Grimmer, who's a friend of the show, and you just mentioned Sehar Manji, also a friend of this show.
Yes.
We had pizza, there was some pasta, but more than just the food, I think the last time that you and I spoke about this, you alleged, and I can't remember what word you actually used, that I was incensed with how late Sehar was.
It's because she was late. She was probably
40 minutes. 40 to 45
late.
Minutes late, and we were waiting to eat.
And I guess the thing was, Jason and I were both like, yeah, it's no worry. Like we were like, yeah, she's late, but I guess neither of us were. Perhaps you were hungry. I guess I realized that you were probably hungry, and Jason and I were like, hungry, but like we were fine. And then I've never seen you like angry before. And I remember you said something like, "This is unacceptable."
Here's the thing, like, and look, coming in from the chat right now, James does not abide tardiness. Look, I can be tardy, but I think when you have people waiting to eat for you, 40 to 45 minutes, I think that is unacceptable.
No, like it really is. Like in any other setting, like I guess like it really is, but I don't know why. Like I think Jason and it was like a Saturday afternoon. We were kind of just like,
oh yeah,
the weather was nice. It was
hot
summer,
and there was no shade. We were standing on the corner. Where were we, on Saint Zotique? No, we're on Dante.
Yeah.
We're on Dante.
Yeah.
One of Montreal's famously its hottest street, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, like I've never seen you, like you turned into like a dad in that moment.
Yeah. Well, and I've always looked at Sehar kind of like a daughter to me.
Oh, that's cute.
But we did eat pizza, right? Which I think falls very much in line with what people would assume that I would enjoy. We had pizza. That was one of our famous meals together.
Yeah, and then we got gelato after.
Got gelato. That's where we saw this man in the cobalt blue suit who we lovingly refer to as Maurizio.
Exactly.
Now, another meal that you and I enjoyed together, this one was a spur of the moment, a late night dinner at Le Roi de Smoked Meat. And for our English viewers, it translates to the Smoked Meat King.
Yeah. And I think we might have peer pressured you into getting the smoked meat because no one else got the smoked meat.
Yeah. Now, and my favorite part of the story, which I'm not sure if you recalled when I last brought up, I was walking with you and two other friends of the show. We had Alex Brown and Taylor McMillan. I was walking to the Metro and you said, "James, we're going to the Roi de Smoke Meat. You have to go." Which I took.
It's on brand. Again, it's on brand for
again,
you.
and this is the projection that I make. So you were saying if we're going to the Roi de Smoke Meat, this guy's going to enjoy it more than all of us.
Because first of all, I'm vegetarian. So for me to go there, I mean, it's like I live very close. I was happy to go there, and I'm not hating on this restaurant, but there's really no point of me going there. And the other two, I think it was like we were hungry and there was a place to go eat.
Yeah. Late night greasy spoon style food. And what I recall mostly from that meal was Alex Brown
ate your fry.
Yeah, without asking. Another moment of maybe where I got incensed.
You also felt really annoyed.
Yeah, sitting across from Alex Brown, again, friend of the show. I love Alex Brown. Downtown Alex Brown begins eating fries off my plate without asking any permission whatsoever. And I would have given them. I would have happily done it. Just starts picking fries. We had been sitting in a park. I don't believe she washed her hands, you know?
But like also, I think like we it's not like it took that long to get the food, but you got your food first. And you were actually, I think you were being polite and waiting for us to get our food. And then she just took she started eating your fries.
Yeah.
And you were like really not into this.
Yeah. Now, these two restaurants, right? We got a pizza parlor. We've got a smoke meat deli.
Yep.
That's kind of on brand with James. But the last time you and I enjoyed some food together, this was very much a Saima location when we went to the Cardinal Tea Room.
Oh my God. I forgot. How did I forget about that? And that was like, actually, I'm going to say that was like an amazing, I wouldn't count it as a meal, but that was an amazing like culinary experience.
Look, I'm going to count it at least for a meal on my part because I got the most expensive cucumber sandwich I've ever had the displeasure of paying for, but the pleasure of tasting. I was astounded with how delicious it was.
I've never seen you be so into something. Well, first of all, when you ordered it, you were like, this is ridiculously expensive, but you were like, okay, I'm hungry. And
I was very hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a theme of you always being hungry. And then when you got it, you like loved it. And I remember you asking, oh my God, what did you say? I think you were like, if I had a birthday party catered, how much do you think it would cost to get like 400 of these sandwiches? Yeah,
I believe that now I don't know. I may have been fairly cocky at the moment as I was eating. Now look, you had to be there. This was it was like, there's no crust on the bread. So it's like you take just a classic square of white bread, you decrust it, and this for the people that aren't there, and you cut it into threes. I believe that I claimed that I could eat 30 sandwiches.
Yeah, I think you did. Yep, you did.
This might be something that we need to crowdsource on this show, because I think it was $8 for the sandwich, and I'm ashamed to even say that. Now, on paper, an $8 sandwich, not that bad, but
it was tiny.
It was just cream cheese and cucumber. So I'm going to do the math right now. We're going to crowdsource.
Wait, I have a better idea. What if we go back like when it opens, and I'll get it too, and then Jason as well, and we'll eat it and try to figure out what the ingredients are, and then just make it at home.
Of course, yeah, because again, Jason Grimmer was there. Again, a theme. We have our own little food club.
That's true.
If I were to eat 30 of them, it would cost $240 prior to tax.
That's like pretty high.
It's pretty high, but I'm not gonna pay for it. You're not gonna pay for it. We're gonna do a GoFundMe for all these cucumber sandwiches.
Perfect.
Now the scones.
Those are delicious.
This is where it really occurred to me that I maybe need to start living a life closer to yours, Saima, with the finer things.
Those scones might have been like one of the culinary highlights of 2021.
Yes,
for me.
yes. The tea was great.
Well, it was also like the tea complemented the scones.
Mm-hmm.
And then those scones are just something else.
Yeah. Now this is something. Could you imagine if at some point, now this, I'm gonna caution everyone watching this, whether live or after the fact, this is never gonna happen. Could you imagine an at-home summit at the Cardinal Tea Room? It's like, you know how they have like a Comic-Con or whatever, there's at-home con at the Cardinal Tea Room.
Yeah, because I remember we were so enamored with the Cardinal Tea Room and how delicious their food was, and also just like how nice it is. If other people have gone, they know it's like kind of a nice, classy vibe. And I think we actually were trying to figure out how much it would cost to rent out the Cardinal Tea Room.
Could you imagine? I'm not lying. I just got goosebumps, and this is not a lie. This is not hyperbole. Imagine having a Christmas party there. And you get it catered, like all these turkeys and stuff.
Did you just come?
Yes. It's first time since before the pandemic. It finally happened. I've been waiting almost 2 years, and all it had. I think I'm blushing. I think all it took, it's going to be one of those moments that we clip and post on Instagram tomorrow. All it took was the idea of a Christmas party in the Cardinal Tea Room to make me get to a moment of ultimate pleasure.
I feel like that's on brand for you.
Yeah. Now, could you imagine a party at that place? Just the food, everything. Oh my goodness.
Well, this is what you should crowdfund, James. Get it started now so that by Christmas time, you might actually have enough money.
Now, of course, there's got to be incentives for people that are donating. If you donate, do you get a ticket to the Christmas event?
Oh, okay. You can have different levels.
Tiers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I can offer in this, but you're
part of the party planning committee. You're in.
Thank you. But I was going to say, for the donations, like, I could take photos of people. I don't know what I can bring, but I'll definitely help.
Yeah.
You can put me in one of the money categories.
Okay. So you're part of the if you
maybe like fashion advice. I could do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I was about to say the exact same thing. So if people don't want their picture taken, maybe because their outfit isn't up to their own personal snuff, you could say, well, this is maybe what you could do. Don't wear a flannel with a tattered hoodie and skate shoes. And I'm the one asking for the advice.
Well, I could see you at the Cardinal Tea Room with like your cardigan, and having this is like a very sophisticated look for you, and having like a cucumber sandwich.
Oh yeah.
And maybe even, dare I say, drinking like a mocktail with like a fancy little. I could see this look for you.
I'll tell you this much. I think that with that outfit and with the power of the cucumber sandwiches, I'm going to put this out there right now. One of the staff members of the Cardinal Tea Room falls for me that night. I don't know if the immediate laughter is the,
No, but because I could see this is like a weird romantic comedy.
Yeah, I could see a lady from the Cardinal Tea Room being like, "There's something about this strange young man," and then I'm like, "Well, I'm not as young as you think I am." And she goes, "Shh," and she puts her finger on my lip, and she goes, "Just don't talk for the rest of the night. I like you better this way."
She like stuffs a scone in your face.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say just the one little cucumber sandwich, and maybe it's like the Lady and the Tramp. And then as we get to the end of the sandwich, I pick it out of her mouth and I finish the rest of it because I like the sandwiches so much. Saima, as we begin to wind things down, because we want to talk about food a little bit more here. This can't just be about my strange Cardinal Tea Room romantic fantasies and pleasure of what's that
as
now?
a total sidebar to this. I hope that place opens soon and we can go back, because now I forgot about. I actually had totally forgotten that we went, and now I want to go back.
Well, this is what I was going to ask: is are there any places that you're excited to reopen when it comes to food?
I guess Cardinal Tea Room. This is not sponsored.
No, but could you imagine the Cardinal Tea Room sponsors this show?
Of all things for them to sponsor.
Yeah. Now I need to put a sponsorship team together, because I'm not the person to get, like, if they had a meeting with me, they'd be like, "Get this guy out of here." I need to put only my classiest people on the sponsorship team. Saima, you're officially hired.
Oh, thanks. I was gonna say, don't doubt yourself. Wear the cardigan and you'll get the sponsorship deal.
You think that I'd be able to knock it out of the park if I just dress a little bit better?
Yeah, because I feel like, and other people might agree with me, the way you like talk and like your vibe, you have a classy way of talking, if this makes sense. You're like a bit, there's like I don't know, does this make sense? Like
it does.
You're the type of person, like when you host a show, like you're very cordial to people. You respect other people.
I want everything you just said on my tombstone.
Oh,
that entire statement on my tombstone. Look, I want to ask you some rapid fire questions. As much as I love the topic of James, we can't, because the people are going to turn away very fast. I just want rapid fire answers.
Wait, just one last thing. You could have like a cucumber sandwich on your tombstone.
Oh yeah, people, instead of people bringing flowers, they're going to throw little cucumber sandwiches at my grave. Now, these are all going to be rapid fire. Don't think too hard. Just the first thing that comes to mind. Again, Saima, you're a vegetarian, so we're going to cater these questions to your taste here. And it's not just going to be food. It could be a variety of things. Best coffee in Montreal.
Is it sad that I don't have, nothing comes to mind.
You could, if there's nothing, there's nothing, but please.
I guess I'll say Tunnel.
Oof, great. Now that's an unofficial official sponsor of the show. Absolutely. Yep. Best pizza in Montreal.
Okay, there's like multiple levels to this. So like if you want like a fast, like late night pizza, I like Pizza Chez Danny on De La Montagne.
That's an old school favorite. They got that sesame seed on the crust.
Yeah.
Now give me a good, like a classy one.
I guess like Napolitana or Gemma.
Okay, good pick. How about this one? This is going to be more of a genre. Best Lebanese and or Middle Eastern.
I'm gonna have to go with Bustan, but like the OG.
Yeah, on like, Crescent.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to that one in a while, but I like Bustan, and actually now they have like a whole vegan thing, which is awesome.
Okay, great. How about this? How about best Japanese?
Oh, like, do you mean sushi or ramen?
You pick. Why not one of each? Okay.
So ramen, there's a ramen place in the Mile End on Saint Laurent. What's it called? I can't even say it. It's like Tsuchomi or something like that.
Is this right? Is right near McGuire?
Yeah, around there. It's close to like.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's not very big. You sit kind of around.
Yeah, I like that place a lot.
It's good. I agree.
And sushi. So the thing with Montreal, there's not really like any amazing sushi. It's all like fusion. So if I'm really hungry, I like a good all you can eat. Pay $30, all you can eat. There's a place close to me that I like. That this is not all you can eat, but it's like called Le Citri. It's not too far from me, and I get sushi from there often. And there's also another sushi spot close to me called Sushi Sama. I like it because it sounds like my name. They make very affordable and pretty decent sushi.
I'll tell you what, there's one right near me too. And when I go to get my little avocado rolls, that's exactly where I go. Now, here's one. Now, I don't even know if you'll have an answer to this, but best junk food spot.
Like Greasy Spoon, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
I guess Patata.
That is a good pick. It's not a bad pick. I forget about it a lot because I'm not up there very often.
Oh, it's a good little. Yeah, I was gonna say like that and like Peterific. It's a good little like.
Peterific rules. Peterific absolutely rules. Okay, how about this one? Best dessert.
Oh, that's tough. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few. I like a cannoli. I like the cannolis of San Gennaro. I'm really sticking to a lot of things in my neighborhood. I realize.
Hey, look, I say go for it.
I also really like this, like I like a millefeuille, which is like a French dessert. And there's a place on Laurier, I forget the name, but it's like a fancy French bakery, and they make really nice millefeuille.
Now, there's going to be we can't wrap this up without throwing some shade. The worst restaurant in Montreal.
Jesus, the worst restaurant in Montreal. I don't even know. Like, this is like,
I'm going to throw one out there.
Okay.
I might, and this is the first thing that came to my mind, Madonna Pizza on Saint Laurent.
I've never been.
That says it all. That says it all. Saima, I think we've done it again. We've made at-home magic. I'm 100% going to clip and post tonight's moment where you asked me if I received and achieved full pleasure by thinking about a catered Christmas dinner at the Cardinal.
You should tag Cardinal. This is how you get your sponsorship going.
Wow. This is why you are on the team. See, now you got these guys like Andy and Dimitri and Dave. That's why we keep them in the booth. You can't let them out near the people, right? We need the best and the brightest. That's why I call them booth dwellers.
Wow. Look, I'm glad to be on the team. I'm glad to be the face of At Home with James.
I need you to be the face of it, because if I'm the face of it, things are not going to end well for me. Saima, thanks so much for being here again, spending your Wednesday with us. And we'll have to do this again, talking about food, everything that's good, and then one thing that's terrible.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep, now it's going to bug me because I'm going to try to think of the worst restaurant.
I'll tell you what, if you come up with one, put it in our chat, and I'm going to announce it to the viewers.
Okay, I don't think I will, but I'll let you know.
Just think about it. If you get a worst, I want to hear about it.
Okay, cool.
Simon, thank you so much, and have a good rest of the night.
You too.
Look at that. That's why I announce Saima as a legend every time she comes on this show. Not only is she a great guest, as she picks on me a little bit, but the best guests do. And then she comes in with this great idea where I tag the Cardinal Tea Room in a clip where she's asking me if I achieve full arousal and pleasure at the idea of a Christmas party there. Stay tuned for that. That'll be tomorrow. Folks, I ain't fooling around. Top of the show, I said, first time ever, we are redoing a segment, and there is no time like the present. Let's welcome one of the great techs in at-home history. It's the one and it's the only. It's Andy Asaf. Andy, how's it going, buddy? How's the booth?
Oh, James, reporting live from the booth, dwelling over here. Just a booth dweller. Wow, James, not like the freaking lights wouldn't work, or, you know, if I wasn't around, but whatever. Good to see you, buddy.
Look, yeah, Andy, here's the thing. Everyone they pick on me on the show, and I wanted to know what it felt like to pick on you guys. And I have to say, after saying I didn't like it, so I take it back. I give you my full apology, and I pledge to do and to be better.
It's okay, James.
Now, Andy, let's get into it here.
Yes.
On Monday, I talked about this off the top of tonight's program. You introduced me to the concept of an S tier list that I botched completely, to the point that people thought that I was lying and I was messing it up on purpose. And it all made sense to me why, because it was so shockingly difficult to mess up, but I somehow managed to find a way to do it.
James, I want to take some blame here, okay? I want to take some blame here. I was the one who introduced you this concept, and maybe I didn't explain clearly that the tiers can hold any number of items.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you were looking at it more as like a gold medal, silver medal,
Yep.
bronze medal. Only certain, in the Olympics, you can only win one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
but it's great that we can finally break ground here and redo this segment, because I've actually updated the list and
Oh.
made it include some more items that I saw in the chat some people were taking issue with that weren't included.
Okay, so it's going to be a more comprehensive list based on the items. Now, again, Andy,
Correct.
as you begin to load up this S tier list, would you like to let people know what this list is based on? What types of food and where you might find them?
Right. So, if you didn't tune in yesterday, this is a ranking. I set it up because in Toronto here, since I moved, one thing I've missed hasn't been the food overall in Montreal. However, I think Quebec is uniquely good at this type of food, which I think you put it the best as the greasy spoon genre, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking diners. We're talking, your Vieux Saint Laurents, your Green Spots, your mom and pop little casse-croûte style places,
Yeah,
both
La
in the
Belle
city,
Province,
out in the
the
boonies.
Carry Hot Dog, Montreal Pool Room, Valentine's.
The
We could go on forever and ever,
a
baby.
place you roll into at 3 a.m. And they literally serve 85 items on the menu.
It wouldn't be uncommon as you walked in, the person who's about to cook your meal or take your food might happen to be illegally smoking in the restaurant.
And you know what? I think we should bring that back across the board with restaurants, but that's a whole other episode.
Okay.
So James, I'm going to bring us back up here. So this is our new updated Quebec's finest cuisine tier list here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, James, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 items.
Yes.
To rank, to tier, that will be your final list of what James McGee would order at one of these establishments. James, are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready. And again, if for people that were watching on Monday, they know that we had put some stuff in the tiers, but we have basically blown it up. We're restarting so we can get the true S tier list experience.
Yes, and I'm already seeing people being like, some things got robbed yesterday. This is we're starting from scratch. So let's kind of throw out yesterday's news.
And again, new items have been added. It's a more detailed list.
Some of which didn't upload yesterday because I didn't know how to use the tier maker properly. Some of which I thought, hey, some people were asking about this, and some of which, I threw in a couple surprises in there. So let's go in here. Let's start it off with one that ranked pretty high yesterday, the Greek gyro, the souvlaki, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Any sort of Greek item that you would find at one of these places that has no other Greek items.
Okay, now again, I'm going into this a lot more relaxed. So, and again, we might adjust this. I'm gonna put the Greek pita in the A tier.
Okay, starting strong.
Putting it in the A tier.
I think it's a pretty solid A tier. Yesterday we did go over the fact that it's one of the creamier items. You got your tzatziki in there. Delish.
Look, that tzatziki drives me absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's I've heard women describe Dimitri that way. Listen, next up we got the steamy hot dog. Steamy hot dog. This is an all dress. We're just going with however you like it. We're not going to split it up into different ones.
Now, on Monday, the steamy was in the S tier. That's where it's going to remain. It is in the S tier.
Unstoppable, cheap, delicious, processed meat tube. It's
soft, chewy. It's great.
All right, so this one is a Quebec. I think a Quebec both a masterpiece and abomination. The pizza Getty.
Yeah. Pizza, it's a Frankenstein.
It's when some freaking Quebecois laborer in the 1930s was like couldn't decide, and he's like, hey, I stand it, put both, and then a great moment in Canadian history. So where would you rank the pizza Getty?
Now look, I like pizza Getty, and I've thought about this. I don't order it a lot, so I think I'm gonna put it in the C tier.
Interesting. I think it's an F. Personally, I under no circumstances would I order it.
Look,
this is your list, though.
There's a picture of me enjoying a pizza Getty that's currently circulating on my Instagram account. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, but I'm gonna put it in C.
Look, I'm not saying that pizza Getty isn't a lot of food, a lot of value. Okay. but neither the pizza nor the Getty is anything to write home about. It's
it's
literally canned tomato sauce.
No.
Slosh
It
on
depends.
top,
It
maybe
depends
microwave it, and the pizza is always
where you get it. It depends where you get it, because some places do have what is known commonly on the menu as les mets italiens.
Yeah, well, it's.
Avez-vous les mets italiens? Moi, je veux.
I think.
Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Ernestine. Moi, je veux une pizza Getty.
That's what I mean. That's probably how it was made. You know, some creep walked in. It's not. I made him some honorable Canadian laborer. You know, he's probably was some pervert who was like, "Hey, put it on there. I like it."
Donne-moi du fromage parmesan à côté.
And the Parmesan cheese that they give you is probably from 1983 that they bulk ordered and have it changed.
That's why it's ranking low on my list.
Okay. I see it is. Now this one I thought got robbed yesterday. It's the Greek salad.
Look, if you feel that it got robbed on our previous episode, you're going to feel worse now. I'm putting it on the D list.
Oh, no. Now, James, it is one of the only items that, of the health food items you can get at one of these places, that A, is actually healthy, and B, is pretty substantial for a health. Like, now, for a health food, it's delicious.
I mentioned this the other night, and I'm going to stand by this. If you're going to a greasy spoon to have a healthy option, like a salad, that is equivalent to going to a prostitute and asking her to tell you that she loves you.
But hey, that's also valid. One, okay. I have friends who have done that. Secondly, the Greek salad, James, it's not necessarily something you go to a greasy spoon to order. It's something you order if you find yourself at a greasy spoon. You weren't expecting to go there, and you're like, I just ate a pizza and like a poutine today. I can't. Here's
the thing. There's already Greek representation high up on the list.
That's true. The Greeks can't have everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on. This is a new one I've added. Soup, James. Soup. Okay, we can talk both in terms of the main course being soup. Right here I have pictured a chicken noodle soup, but I'm also talking about your entree soup, you know, the minestrones that come in, the cream
pea soup
corn,
on Fridays,
the pea soup, the split pea, the leek soup sometimes they'll have. And it's
a tomato rice.
And this is something you can't plan your trip around. You show up, you get surprised. So it's kind of like a fun game.
I'll tell you what, I like a good diner soup. I'm going to go B.
Ooh, okay. So, James, just double checking that we are crystal clear here.
We're crystal clear.
You can put multiple things per tier.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just checking. Moving on. We got another salad, James. I added another salad because Caesar salad was in the comments a lot. And I think Caesar salad specifically at these places, they're always flopping and slopping a big old grilled chicken breast on top. And it's usually the best chicken breast you ever have. I
like a good flop and slop Caesar salad. I'm going to put it in the C tier.
Okay. Greece will be upset about this. But I guess Caesar technically is Italian.
Yeah.
Moving on to table d'hote. This was one we ranked, but I didn't have an image for. So this is the green spot table d'hote here. We often order it, right? You start with a nice little soup, get a main.
Yeah.
And this table d'hote is great because it has different mains. You can choose what you want.
Yep. A variety of mains.
Comes with a drink and coffee and dessert.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the table d'hote in the A tier.
Oh.
Because you get a lot of food at a very reasonable price.
Yep. I definitely agree. Could you say it's S though?
I'm not willing to say that it's S because not every diner has a variety. Because then you might get there, it'll be like, oh, what's the table d'hote today? And it'll be like, pork chop,
a microwave salmon.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's high, but it's not all the way.
Okay, that's fair. This one's the OG, the classic. I think this defines the genre, the Beatles of this type of food, the club sandwich.
You said it. The Beatles of a greasy spoon.
But is it S tier?
The club sandwich goes into the S tier.
Oh my goodness. He's throwing it in there, folks. Now, you think it's S tier. I've had some pretty... I will say this about club sandwiches. Because it's a little bit more of an intricate food here. We're talking about layers. We're talking about many ingredients. You know, there's so many things that could go wrong. The structure, this is one that you need like an architectural degree to create. I've had some pretty bad club sandwiches with dry ass meat that I've had to dip into a gallon of mayo to actually.
Yeah, but this thing, you get the mayo and you ask for a sauce brun à côté. You dip it into the gravy.
Okay, that's an interesting hack.
I dip every club sandwich into gravy. Okay, if I'm lying, I'm dying.
I'm seeing some contentious comments in the chat about the club.
Yeah, so. I'm seeing it too. I was gonna not address this, but coming in from the chat from Charlito Monty, ban the club. You don't know how close I am to asking our tech team to ban Carlito Monti from the chat. So that's all we're going to say about that. Let's go to our next item.
This one is what I think S tier, personally. It's the coffee, the classic diner coffee. You asked Sam earlier what's the best coffee. Look, I love a Dispatch. I've ordered it here in Toronto. It's a taste of Montreal for me. I love good coffee. I love Tunnel Espresso Bar. Great coffee in Montreal that like rivals some of the best coffee cities in the world. But you give me either a cup of diner coffee or a cup of wedding coffee. Ooh, mama. Ooh, mama.
Now, this is the thing. The way that you felt about some club sandwiches, how you've had some bad ones. I've had a lot of bad diner coffee.
But even then, you could fix it with a nice spoonful of sugar and milk, which is the only coffee I would ever put that in. Tim Hortons coffee, McDonald's coffee, fine if you're on a road trip. But you're throwing that stuff in there, and it's still bad.
I want you to put the coffee in the A tier.
Oh, it's joined the table d'hote and the Greek. Oh, how good would that be, huh? A table d'hote with a Greek sandwich right now and a coffee.
Oh, we might put together an entire table d'hote based on future items here in the A tier.
Okay, all right. You know, we'll move this down because I want to switch gears to breakfast. Right, we talked about just a classic breakfast. This is all encompassing. You know, we're talking about like maybe you get a 16-item breakfast, the hungry man breakfast, or the lumberjack one, the Vieux Saint Laurent one is, where it's like 6 different kinds of meats, a hash brown, potatoes, fruit that you'll never eat, little cup of beans, croûton, toast on the side, whole wheat, white, however you.
I was going to put it in the A tier. I was going to put it in the A tier. Because I thought, well, the food it's fine. Yeah. But breakfast itself is fine. But then I thought about how fun the act of going to a greasy spoon is in the morning.
It opens up so much grease possibilities.
The breakfast goes into the S tier.
Whoa, I did not expect this.
Almost purely for experience over taste.
I'd argue we wouldn't be friends without a greasy spoon breakfast.
I think that you have a lot of room to stand on there. I think you're correct. I think you're correct about that.
So we have a lot to thank for the greasy spoon breakfast. A salute to a nice breakfast.
And look, nothing has been put in F yet.
That's true. I was just going to say that. I see a couple coming up that I'm really worried about. I'm really nervous about. And I'm happy we haven't made a hell tier, or we had to yet. But we'll see. The night's still young. We still got half the list here. Okay, you ready, James? Hamburger. We're talking hamburger and cheeseburger.
We discussed this.
Bacon burger.
I think a lot of greasy spoon burgers are mostly overcooked and dry.
Very mid.
Burgers might be my favorite food, period.
Okay, but knowing that,
James. But because the way that they're often cooked in these places, I almost never order them.
Exactly. And also, I would argue, too, with the prime availability of many good burgers in other locations, it just makes that experience worse. It makes you go, why did I do this? Why did I choose this life? And then you are constipated later.
This is going to be big. I'm going to put the casse-croûte burger, the greasy spoon burger, the diner burger, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put it on the D tier.
Oh, but it's no F for you.
It's not F.
Not an F.
It's not F. It's not F.
Okay, here, let's do this one first. We're going into like a category here. This one has multiple ones. Poutine, classic poutine. I think we put it in the S tier yesterday. Does it still live there?
Poutine goes to the S tier. It has to.
Poutine has to go to the S tier. I think, yeah. If the club sandwich is the Beatles, the poutine is the Celine Dion, which works on many levels with this analogy.
Yep.
Known worldwide. Now modified with smoked meat. Let's do this one first. Let's do anything but a smoked meat poutine. So we're talking again the Banquise school of thought.
Okay, so if we're talking the Banquise, I never order any of those poutines.
Yeah, like a mushroom, a mushroom, a 19 cheese.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in the F tier because I never order it.
Oh,
I never ever order.
You're telling me a sushi poutine wouldn't rock your boat, or like a I don't know, a Thai poutine that's
like
just
Randy Jackson was famous for saying on American Idol, "It's a no for me, dog."
All right,
the first item on our F tier.
This is interesting, S and F. But now we're going to smoked meat poutine, which I think.
Now, a smoked meat poutine is the only variant that I ever go with.
Mm-hmm. It is the Delta and the Omicron of poutine.
I'll tell you, it's not an S tier for me. It's not an S tier. And
I would personally put it in an S tier, but that's just me.
Well, that's the thing. Again, to me, it's a rarely purchased item. That's why. You know what? I might be charitable. I'm gonna put it in the B tier.
Okay, go in there with a soup.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a soup in its own way. So about the meat,
the soup has got some company now.
Does add a lot of fat. Now that you make me think about it conceptually, it is a pretty rancid thing. But moving on, I'd love it. Dessert. So we're talking our cheesecakes, our coffee cakes, our millefeuilles.
I rarely buy them.
That's
I rarely buy
not
them.
true, James.
Hold on. Greasy spoons. You've seen me eat them with the table d'hote. We talked about this on Monday, but I don't really love them. If it wasn't for the table d'hote, I would never order.
That's not. But okay. Maybe you haven't ordered it very much, but I definitely have seen you at a night out at one of these establishments go, "Oh, wouldn't a lemon cake be good right now, man?" Oh,
yeah, you're not incorrect. I love having dessert.
I love a chocolate cake right now. Yeah.
I love
a little bit of whipped cream. Yeah.
I don't really love whipped cream that much.
I'm gonna come, man.
Here's the thing. I don't order these desserts often. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the C tier.
Okay. Pretty mid for you.
It's pretty mid.
Okay. Not a sweet guy. Not a sweets guy,
folks. I love sweets, but at the greasy spoon, like just because this thing, it's a rice pudding, it's a Black Forest cake. It's a strawberry shortcake.
But sometimes those adventurous desserts, where else are you going to have them, right? And then they're not life-changing, but they're consistently all right.
All right, well, let's go to the next item.
Onion rings. This one's a new addition.
Now, onion rings are a new addition.
Yeah.
When
you don't feel like fries?
It's going to the D tier.
Whoa!
I like them, but I don't order them.
Now this is an image too I got that has like chopped up hot dogs in
so it's
pigs
an
in
onion
a blanket.
Ring. It's an onion ring poutine almost.
But I don't think there's. Yeah, it kind of looks like a poutine. Still,
that
disgusting.
One's going to go on the D for me. It's going D.
Okay, all right, James. This one my heart broke yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We got the fish and chips, as illustrated by this nice older gentleman.
Featuring a nice older gentleman.
So just know, whatever ranking you gave it, you would have to be at the restaurant telling, like, you know, when you're going to pay for your bill, and the guy back, he's like, "Hey man, how was it?" And you're gonna have to say, "It was tier."
So, is there something lower than F?
Oh no, James. He worked so hard.
Is there a hell tier?
We can add a row below.
Please add the hell tier, because that is where the fish and chips is going to go.
Oh no!
Hell.
Wait, I screwed this up. This is F. Oh my goodness, this thing's broken. So okay, James, let me reiterate.
Mm-hmm.
You go. We're going to pay, and those guys behind they've been behind that thing ripping the grill. He could be
looking at me with the sad puppy dog eyes.
Caked on grease from 30 years of cigarette and bacon. And he looks at you, James. Hell. He's like, "Hey, James, new shirt," and he's just
go to hell.
You ordered the fish.
I didn't order it, and I want to be clear that the variant poutine will put that in F.
The variant poutine. So you'll rather order a variant poutine? What if the variant poutine is a fish and chip poutine?
You're gonna force me to put the variant poutine in hell if you don't want.
It's going in hell then.
What's the next item here?
So this one also, I don't know why I didn't include yesterday. It's the sous-marin, right? You got your Philly cheesesteaks, you got your cold cuts, whatever this place might have. The Italian sub, not really a Subway sandwich. It's kind of its own thing.
Put the sous-marin in C.
Oh, very mid for you. Sometimes it hits the spot. Sometimes it feels like a B food.
Again, to me, it's like I'll order a sous-marin in the same way that I'm ordering the pizzaghetti, a lasagne gratinée. It's in that vein.
All right. Okay.
And we're winding down here. We got 3 items to go.
3 left, James, and I think these are 3 very important, both to the culture of Quebec, but also very important to this moment right now. We're talking about the classic smoked meat sandwich.
Okay, so this is an interesting one.
Famously known as not just a Montreal food, but has a evil twin brother in New York that people compare it to. And a lot of people are very contentious about it.
Okay, well, that's fair. Now, the question is this a Schwartz smoked meat, or are we talking about the thinner, wetter diner smoked meat?
Now, that's interesting. Is Schwartz a diner? I'd argue yes. It's got diner aesthetic.
Then I'm going to, if we're talking...
But even then, we're going across the street to the main, because I think that is a better, not only smoked meat.
Well, then you're about to get yourself banned like Charlito Monte.
I think it's if not better, on par with Schwartz. Less expensive, less hubble-baloo.
I do not agree that the main. I do not agree that the main is less expensive.
Or if you don't want that, you go for a Reuben, which is so good at the main.
Here's the thing about the main: it's a diner. That might be on my worst restaurant Montreal list. Now, if we're talking about other places, maybe like the Snowden Deli,
or
we're talking
Dunn's.
About Lester's. Well, Dunn's is If we're counting Schwartz and all those, then the smoked meat goes to the S tier.
Oh my goodness! I thought it was going to be a solid A.
Smoked meat goes to the S tier.
This is a nice looking S tier. Imagine eating all those at once on the toilet. Okay. Here we go. Final 2, James. We got this one's interesting. What is this called again? It's a chicken.
It's a hot chicken sandwich. It's a hot
chicken sandwich.
It's a chicken sandwich covered in peas and gravy. It's nice on a nice hot day.
Are we including Chalet Barbecue as a diner?
I think that no. Chalet Barbecue is a rotisserie chicken restaurant.
It's a restaurant. Yeah, that's a proper restaurant.
So I'm gonna put the hot chicken sandwich in the D tier.
Whoa, that's a low ranking. But it is kind of a peasant food.
Look, they don't come more peasantly than I do. That's for damn sure.
I think it's a pretty delicious treat, but not the go-to for myself. Interesting menage of flavors. And I've seen some saying healthier.
Coming in from the chat, Bing Roy Brown. This is a great username. Hot chicken should be in the hell tier because of Loi 101. So this is someone who's got they got issues. They got an axe to grind with La Belle Province, the province, not the restaurant.
Okay, final one, James. Are you ready to round off this list? I've included. This isn't a food. This is the only non-food item on here. And now that I'm thinking about it, we could have maybe added more non-food items. Could have been fun to rank. I don't know, the decor of certain places. But we're talking about these fucking half-broken. Music jukeboxes at the table. I think
by half broken you mean
fully broken. Never works, but fun to roll through and see. Oh, that'd be a fun song to play.
Which we've done. I love.
We've done that a lot.
On the table.
That's what we do when we wait for our food, like children drawing on the back of a placemat.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think it's a fun activity. So we're gonna end things by putting this in the S tier.
This is going S.
Yes. Having a broken jukebox machine on your table ranks higher than the fish and chips.
I've never thought about it, but if you asked me, would I rather a Caesar salad with chicken, a coffee, table d'hote, smoked meat poutine, any of these items, or a jukebox at the table? I'd probably say a jukebox at the table.
Now, a couple great comments in the chat right now. Again, Bing Roy Brown, quote, I thought it was a cigarette dispenser. Which is technically food because you can eat it. That's a great comment.
I'm sorry, James, but with that comment, I think we should make an S+ tier and place it above.
Yeah, put the jukebox in there. We've also got Charlito Monte, best table jukebox song, The Gambler. He's been unbanned with that statement. He's unbanned.
The Gambler would be a good track. I always feel there's a lot of Aerosmith on it.
Yeah. Sweet Emotion, something like that. Well, look, Andy.
I've added the S+, the smoking section.
Okay, well, look, every great diner needs a smoking section. Andy, from my greatest failure on Monday to what I think might be my greatest success, or some people might say my most controversial opinions ever, we've completed the Quebec finest cuisine S tier. Interesting to you, me, and the 10 people who were watching tonight live.
I think this is a good list, James. You have honorable rankings. I definitely disagree with the fish and chips. I've made that clear.
Well, and look, every good list encourages debate.
That poor man is going to be in a home in like 10 years.
Well, for now, he's burning in hell.
The last thing that pops through his mind before he passes is you telling him this shit sucked.
You know what I would say to him if I could? You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. And he can send that as he's burning in hell.
Okay, well, that's a pretty fun way to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's the guy on the train who dies. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's on the Spanish train, the one that's spoken about in the Chris de Burgh song of the same name. I'm not going to be singing that one. Andy, thanks so much for sparing no expense on the technology in this list, and we'll have to do something of similar vein soon.
We did it, James. I'll see you soon.
I appreciate it. That is Andy Asaf. And folks, that is our show. Look, how could you top Monday? You do it like this. You do it with legends. You do it with heroes. You do it with the likes of Saima, and you do it with the likes of Andy Asaf. This coming Friday. Who's going to be here? Dimitri Kires, Connor Rose, and so much more. Until then, I wish you just the greatest of Wednesday evenings. If there's something you want to accomplish, hey, look, you still got about 2 hours to do it. Whatever it might be, big task, medium task, small task. I wish you just the best of luck. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.